everybody and their neighbor. Welcome back to Gear and Gigs. I'm your host, Jetstone. So glad you could stop by today. As always, like I always say, if you haven't heard me say that at least 20 or 30 times, well, you need to go back and watch some episodes, darn it. And if you do, you'll probably see a lot of this guy. It's Reg. Reg, how you doing?
Hi, Jet. How are you?
I'm doing
I'm
great.
fine, by the way. I'm fine.
That's good to know. I was wondering if you were just skipping past that or...
Yeah. No, I realized. I should answer that question. Yeah, I'm doing just fine.
Good. Just fine. Not even a little bit over, but right up to...
Right at the line of
right
fine.
At the line of fine.
I live on the fine line.
Of fine. Well, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And like a fine wine, we're here to show you the incredible deliciousness of music gear.
Oh, yeah. It's yummy.
Yeah, it is yummy. It is delicious. Whatever you do with it, it's fun. And we got kind of a cool piece today. Now, it's sort of a blast from the past, and yet it's fresh and new. Right? Okay. He doesn't know, as always, you guys know from the thumbnail, he has literally no idea.
Oh, that's only because at this time, there is no thumbnail for me to see.
That's correct.
But I'm as always, there's always a little bit of anxious anticipation.
Right.
For you to lift the large magic hanky.
So here we go with the large magic hanky. Can we have the drum roll, please?
Okay, that actually doesn't hurt that much because I can't.
You can't see what it is.
I really can't see what it is. No, although the one on the right, no, I'm not even going to venture a guess.
All right, so everybody can see, except for Reg, that it is a couple of pedals on here. Now the Friedman Dirty Shirley, we've done that before. Okay. We love that. You were there. This is just a power supply, one of my favorite inexpensive but really useful power supplies. But this is the gold C3PO version of the TC Electronics chorus, pitch modulator, and flanger.
Oh, okay.
The classic one, the Eric Johnson one, the one goes way back in the day that everybody loved. And they came out with a gold-plated version. And, how could we not get that here at Gear and Gigs for you guys to check out, And we didn't have that particular unit anywhere in the studio anyway. So we thought, well, let's bring that out. We've done a lot of choruses and modulation pedals together. So I thought, well, let's do this one. It's kind of a classic. And, well, I've played some TC choruses. This one sounds a little different than some of the rack units and bigger floor units like the G system and stuff. It may be the same circuitry, it may be the same software or what have you. I don't know, but this one sounds distinct. And as soon as I hear it, I'm like, conjures up records and things that we've heard it on. So I'm interested to see what you think. So that's what we've got today. Fascinating? Interested?
Yes, I love modulation. Modulation it wobbles my heart.
Yes, it does. And other parts as well.
I mean, like if it's really coming through a big sound system, then it just wobbles my whole body. But, in general terms with headphones, it's the heart wobble.
Now, Reggie wobbles, but he doesn't fall down.
That's right. That is right. I'm not a weeble, but
Reggie
weeble stand by their philosophy. I do.
So we're going straight into this. Into the Friedman and then into the chorus because we're going stereo out of the chorus and into two of our more recent favorite amps to use for this kind of stuff. We've got the Boogie or Mesa. No, it says Boogie on the front, so I'm good. The California Tweed in surf green. And over here we've got the Triple Crown 50. Also no, this one's Mesa. I don't know how they decide. A Mesa Triple Crown and a Boogie California Tweed. I think they saved the Boogie for the more fun stuff and the Mesa for the, the serious.
Yeah, I think the Boogie tag is like for their stuff that really boogies a little hard. Like, it gives you the boogie.
Interesting. Well, that's, of course, where it came from. Santana. It's thought that the first Boogie, a hot rodded Princeton, I believe.
That amp really boogies, right?
Really boogies, yeah. And it has continued to do so. Yeah. A 12-inch in a Princeton, that right there helps it so much.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you that traditional Princeton sound, but it boogies.
Well,
that's what we've got today. Good for guitars. I went stock, a Les Paul and a Strat. Let's just keep it, the comparison simple. So because we're listening to the pedal, It is kind of an unusual Strat in that Eric Johnson used to own it. So it's an Eric Johnson signature, bearing an Eric Johnson signature that he actually owns. So that's kind of cool. Got that thanks to my good friends at the Guitar Sanctuary, who have in no way sponsored this video. I just like them. Love those guys. So I just love to always mention them. Check out the Guitar Sanctuary in McKinney, Texas. They were kind enough to get that for me. So we'll start with that. And then we got an R8, a 58 reissue over there from the Gibson Custom Shop. So we're not skimping on guitars. We're trying to give you some good sounds. But since it was an Eric Johnson related effect, right? I thought, well, what the heck? All right. Let's check out our dry tone first. I do have a mic up here that I'll turn off, and then you'll just be hearing the 2 tube mics on the amp. Those vintage tube mics are running straight into our recorder, so there's no extra preamps or processing or anything like that. They're going to run in stereo, and here we go. There are some room mics way back there also in stereo just to pick up a little bit of the room so it doesn't sound quite so barrenly dry, but I've got a little touch of reverb on the amps too, so that'll help us out a little bit. All right, going to turn this off, let you hear the dry sound. How's our level? Does that sound all right?
That's a good level, and it's funny how you didn't have to tell me that we were running it in stereo, and I might not have said, is that stereo? But it right away had a wider field and just kind of, you know what I mean? Is like there's something, and this is the thing, and I hate to cut into pedal time, but stereo, guitar, bass, whatever, once you do it, once you kind of commit to running a stereo rig, you don't really ever go back from that. Because stereo adds much more than just a left and right, channel and, the ability to move things in the field. It really does place it like around you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It makes it real. It makes it feel like it has a backside almost. Like, oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it plays into the psychology of how you really listen to stuff,
Right.
Unless you only have one ear that works, of course, in which case I'm sorry about that. But for stereo, it does add a life.
It does. It really does. It's like, and as soon as you played it, I was like, oh, you wouldn't have needed to tell me that was stereo. I would have.
With no effects other than 2 different spring reverbs, right? So they're set
and
slightly
2 different amplifiers, too.
2 different amps. So immediately creates Yeah. All right. Hey, let's go back to that.
All right. Sorry about that.
Well, we'll enjoy the dry sound for a minute because it does sound pretty good. And I'm running the Triple Crown on the clean channel. It is a 3-channel amp. It's running just on the clean, and everything's pretty much straight up on the amps as far as EQ. All right, a little distortion just so you hear what that sounds like with the Friedman Dirty Shirley turned on. Basic tone, we're not trying to stretch it too far in any way because we really want to concentrate on the effects. But there you go. As your reference.
Very nice.
All right. So I had this set on a sound that I like rather than starting with 0 and kind of rolling it off. I thought we'd start someplace I like and then we can kind of mess with the extreme and subtle values from there in. But
okay.
Now this has got 3 different modes: pitch, modulation, chorus, or flange. So we're going to start off with the chorus.
Okay.
I find the pitch modulation, as I'm sure most people do, a little wacky. It can be a little weird, like true vibrato can be, where you're modulating pitch can be a little. Sometimes it's just what you want, but probably overall, percentage-wise, the flanger and the chorus are going to be the most used. This will be chorus. It's got an interesting switch. There is no sense of finished contact or a click or anything like that. It's just a pressure switch. You press it, and because the red LED on the unit flashes in time to your modulation speed, when you first turn it on, it may or may not have a light that corresponds with it right at that time. So it can be disconcerting when you hit it, and then slowly a red light comes on. So anyway, just to let you know, in case you're watching watching our camera when we turn it on, or wonder about that if you have one yourself, just give it a second. All right. And it's just immediately.
And let me just say, I'm going to go right back to the stereo thing. It's like a stereo chorus is, I shouldn't say this, but because I do own some mono chorus pedals, but not all of them. I got, and there's something about a stereo chorus that just, of all effects, other than delay, obviously delay and reverb are kind of nice in the stereo field, but my God, chorus just, because it just does, it's such a, I don't want to say subtle. It can be subtle. That setting is not subtle. It's obvious there's a chorus on, but it's not overbearing at all. It's not, it doesn't take away from anything. It only adds to. And the way it sits in the stereo field, it just, oh my God, it's, you know what it is? It's delicious. Yeah, very, very tasty.
It's not, you don't hear the warble. You don't, no, it's just, but it doesn't get too shimmery. It's like, it's really good.
It is like a tone thickener.
It is, especially in the neck pickup. Let me go to the neck pickup. Now turn it off. Back on. It is. It's like it's covered in syrup. It's got a gooey deliciousness. Mm-hmm. All right, let me modulate. Let me pick a different word. Let me change some of the knobs over here and see what the various settings can do.
Be sick. Oh.
That's real usable.
Is that maxed out?
That is in fact maxed out.
Okay, then I have a comment to make about that. As you are well aware, sometimes I like a pedal that'll go beyond where I would use it, right? Just so I know it's there, that if I ever want to really push the boundaries. If that's maxed out, that is extremely usable. Now, I would
you would prefer it to be less usable, right?
I would dial it back probably where you had it. But that's not, it doesn't go to that place where some chorus pedals go, where it's like, well, you would never do that unless you were just in some sort of noise outfit and looking to make a sound effect that doesn't, never mind it's a guitar anymore. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
And that is maxed out and still musical, which, maybe not to my taste, but like, I'll say this, where you had it dialed in originally, probably the best TC chorus I've ever heard.
Right? That's what I think. It doesn't sound like other TCs for some reason. And once again, it may be. I'm sure you'll tell us in the comment section if it is, but it doesn't seem like it is in usage. All right, let me mess with some more. I'll take the speed down. We'll mess with that while everything is wide open, and then I'll go for some more subtle stuff.
Interesting.
So that's all the way down speed-wise. I'm going to turn it off and on so we can hear a comparison between dry and that. It almost gives you stereo without a sense of chorus.
I was going to say exactly the same thing. It's like it doesn't have the chorus effect, but it still has the widening and sweetening effect.
The sweetening, yeah.
Right? It's like the tone instantly is sweeter, and the stereo field is instantly wider. And it's like, I'd use that.
I'm starting to see why Mr. Johnson liked this particularly well with Strats.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
we're going to have to try it with Les Paul, but let me mess with the width and speed and stuff. See what I can get. I'm going to leave right now. I'm going to leave the intensity kind of high just so we can really hear what's going on. I'm going to roll the intensity down.
What's not to love about that?
Man, you can't even hardly tell it's a chorus, but it's once again, it's sweeter and wider and more interesting.
And my goodness, what is this called again? What's the name of the pedal?
The stereo chorus plus pitch modulator and flanger. It just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. I mean, because like I've owned a lot of chorus pedals, and I've had TCs. I had like the TC Corona, the little green guy, right?
Nice pedal.
I've had that the regular size and the mini size, and then also they used to do like a black box, like my vocal processor thing, TC Helicon. That was.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
But TC would do these little black ones, and it would have all the modulation effects, basically phaser, flanger, chorus, that kind of stuff, all in one little box, two pedals, two little switches. And I have to say, this one blows all that away.
I have to agree. I really
completely blows it all away.
Yeah, it has an input gain adjustment as well. I did it so it was basically unity gain across, but it does have some boost available. I'll show you that.
I don't like that. Yeah,
I don't need it at this point because the amps can do that. But if you want it, if you wanted it as a little boost, it actually can do that. And especially if you're not using it for a lot of chorusing, because at this setting, I don't think anybody's going to think, oh, that's chorus guitar. They're just going to think, ooh, that's some sweet guitar. It's
it's noticeable.
It's better. Noticeable. It's just better.
It is.
For a
You
lot
know
of
what else?
things, it would just be better instantly.
You're also getting a little bit of bonus, and I noticed this, especially just then when you went back and forth doing that kind of a wide chord, is it also kind of enhances the harmonic content of, like, if you're playing a chord, especially something like that, it really defines each note in that chord and all the harmonics related to it. It just kind of defines them better. I don't know. Crazy. It's crazy.
No, you're right. It's like different frequencies jump out and sparkle and swirl, but not in a way.
Right.
It's so much more delicate than that.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the. So already here, this happens a lot, but already, I'm not going to do any thumbs or anything this early.
Right. We don't want to bring out.
I'm just saying,
we're leaning towards.
If that was just a chorus pedal,
yeah,
we got a pretty good little winner there.
All right, so let's try it with a humbucker. All right, as I said, it's an R8. I'll give you the dry sound first. It always does catch me out with the light that pulses, because if you look over and it's not on, you swear it's not on, and then as you're looking away, it starts to light up. You're like, all right, here we go. All right, there's our dry sound. Here we go with a little chorus. I like how I can't put my finger on, if I have it set right, where the modulation is really happening and how fast it's happening, where you're actually like going, okay, is it doing this, or is it doing this, or is it doing this, and I like that indefined warble.
It definitely sounds good on the Les Paul as well. Obviously it's funny that because you're going between those two iconic guitars, how it probably confirms something that I probably already know, a personal bias. How I really like those crispy, clean single coil pickups on the guitar.
Single coils grab
really,
the chorus, and
yeah. It's
I was going to say, that being said, let's try it with distortion.
Okay,
See, because I'm betting that's where the humbuckers will shine with the chorus even more than I think that'll be too much in the Strat, relatively speaking. I don't think this thing's capable of too much anyway,
Right.
but I think it'll flip. But let's see. I could be wrong. Let's try it. I'll start it with no chorus. Of course. Oh, that's a good sound. I like.
I've heard that sound before.
That's a
I'm
good
trying to remember where it was, but
Yeah, that's a good
somewhere
sound.
in my life I've heard that sound.
All right, so I'm gonna have to play some. You know what kind of chords here when I add this chorus, so just be prepared.
Yeah, that's Stacy.
That might be a lot of fun. Oh,
That's
man.
Stacy. But it still has
like playing a wall of sound.
it has an inherent darkness to it, though, that you just don't. You know what I mean?
Well, now I haven't changed the setting of the amps either, right?
Right.
So I haven't adjusted it for the Strat or the Les Paul. I haven't adjusted this or anything. Everything's running flat. So if we were to tweak to taste, so to speak, I'm sure I could get this to sound more the way we would want. So,
but the chorus certainly has not suffered by the change of guitars at all. The chorus is still. I still think that's a mighty fine. Like in my arsenal, I think I'm down to 3 chorus pedals right now in what I own, and I could probably pick one of those 3 to replace with this one.
It would do almost any chorus job that didn't involve ridiculousness.
Right.
It would have a hard trouble with it would have trouble. Got to be careful when you say that. It would be trouble to produce ridiculousness with this. I don't think it's capable, but for a solid professional chorus job, yeah. And we are. Please note that we're running distortion or overdrive, I should say, into the chorus.
Right.
In the old days, they would run the chorus into the amp and get the distortion for the most part from the amp. Right. So it is a different thing. It's a different experience for guitar players out there that haven't tried reversing those. You might find I actually prefer it better the other way typically, but because I'm using this to divide us into stereo to go into the 2 amps, our overdrive has to be in the front because really it's sort of capable of overdrive, but the California Tweed's sweet spot is being sweet and clean. It really is a great pedal platform. As an overdrive, it's okay. It's usable, but it's a little too flubby and tweedy for me. Even though it says Tweed right in the name, I understand that, but it's a little harder to control for the kind of stuff I like to do. I like a little tighter grain distortion, not fizzy, but just a little tighter. But so I find I get a better result sometimes if I do that. Reverse the order. All right. So we haven't tried this with distortion yet, right?
We have.
Oh, we did.
But we did. But I wonder if
with the chorus, I didn't think we had with the chorus.
I don't think if we listened to the guitar with the maybe
right,
not. But then because we got to get to that flanger. I'm
okay.
I am drooling for that flanger.
All right. Well, let me just show you guys what this sounds like. Yeah, that sounds pretty good with the Strat distortion, man.
Bad to say about that. Yeah.
That sounds really good. Oh, I think the amp is probably straight up and down on these amps or at least what I've got close to it. It must work better with the Strat than the Paul, because I know the Paul could sound great too. But dang, you're right about the single coils and the sparkles.
Hey, it's just sparkles. Yeah, it really does.
All right, let's go to the flanger. Well, do you want to stop off at the pitch modulator for just a second? It's on the way. All
right, let's go ahead and stop off there for a brief visit.
All right. I'm just looking to see if the LED lights changed pattern. No, it seems to be doing the same thing. All right, let's see what we got. We'll start with it off.
Oh, there it is.
I can't even hardly play. I'm like, what's my ears going? Well, what's the next thing? And
right?
It's kind of in between right here and here.
That effect generally for me works best when the speed is relatively high and the intensity relatively low.
All right, let's try that. What about the width?
Which
would be how much pitch it changes.
Experiment with that.
All right.
It might, I don't know. Yeah. That box is just some kind of magical stereo, no matter what you do.
By itself, you might be able to figure out what's going on, but yeah, in a mix, you would never know. It would just sound stereo, but not quite chorusy.
Right, it's different.
It is a different texture.
Still, it's when the effect is on, boom, it opens up, right? So it's like it almost doesn't matter what effect you're using, so long as you have that box on, you're gonna have, you're gonna already have something you want.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna fly past that because while it's cool, he's here to see the flanger.
The flanger. Let's. All
right, how do you want me to set it to start?
Yeah, just go for something that you would consider to be musically tasteful.
I'll tell you what.
Maybe a relatively slow speed but high intensity. Exact opposite of the last effect, the pitch.
Okay.
Shift thing.
Low speed. I'll put width in the middle, and intensity at. So we're gonna have 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 3 o'clock.
Oh, that sounds tasty.
All right. Here we go. Flanger. Dry first.
That's very nice.
Okay, the word that comes to my mind is juicy.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. It's like, it doesn't have that, although I'm sure we could dial that in too. But
no whoosh. Yeah,
it's again, pedal goes on instantly, as well as the effect you're getting. It's almost like a double effect. It's almost like it's giving you just the fact that, and I've had stereo pedals that don't do this, by the way. So I'm not just saying because it's a stereo pedal. Like I've got lots of stereo pedals. And they sound great, but they don't do what that's doing, which is kind of a bonus. I see it as a bonus. It's
like extra wide super stereo like you get in the movie theater.
Right. But it also adds clarity with the stereo field.
It does. It does. All right. I want to play some more of this flanger because
please.
It's juicy. Juicy. I don't even have to play more than one chord. I can just sit there and listen to it evolve and be like, oh, that's just so cool. So I've got the width and the intensity up, and it almost gets a ring modulation sort of thing on the short staccato notes. It's unabashedly a flanger. It's not ashamed of being a flanger. It's not trying to disguise itself as anything. It's like, I'm a flanger. You're going to get flanging, and it gives you that thing that does this, and all of a sudden gets zzz and comes back out. You know, I just love
And that's
that.
that's width and intensity up pretty high.
Yeah, they're almost all the way up. In fact,
See, again, it's
right,
like
still usable.
it's still right. It's like it's almost like the engineers sat down and designed this box to be musical
And foolproof. Like there's no bad setting, so
you can't mess up.
just
You can
twist
go,
until it sounds good.
Right, exactly. It's like, my goodness.
Okay, so now we're going into total weirdness. This is everything all the way up.
Can't go wrong.
It's like Belinda Carlisle's voice.
Yeah, you're right.
See, if I heard that in a track, I would never think, oh, he's got a flanger on there.
Right.
It doesn't sound like that. It's like,
It almost sounds like it could be just a kind of a chorus being pushed, right? And I know chorus and flanger have a lot in common. There's a lot of pedals that are the 2-in-1. You know, one of my favorites, the old Stereo Electric Mistress.
we love that one. Check out the review right there, but not now. Stick with us and come back.
Yeah, not now. That's a great pedal though. But we're talking about this.
So that's width and intensity kind of down, more like in the 10 o'clock range, but speed all the way up. Okay, so this is width all the way up, speed halfway, and intensity halfway. It's a little seasicky there, a little bit.
A little tiny bit, but
The width, I think.
still beautiful.
It's still, once again, in a band or in a track with other stuff, I think it'd be real usable. All right, let's. I'll take intensity up to about 2/3, width up to 2/3, and speed at about 1/3. I get a sense that might sound pretty nice.
Yeah, it's funny because before we
Just
started
lays
playing with
there.
the pedal,
Without it,
we
it's like-
listened to the guitar and it's like, oh, good bass tone, good, everything's all fine. And then as soon as you start using the pedal, it's like, no, it's good when the pedal's on.
Level input gain is used whether you're on or not. As soon as it goes on, it's like, there it is. Why did I turn that off again?
Right.
I must just really like chorus, but I don't like chorus where it just sounds like 80s chorus, that was overused. Right. Not that I don't love it in those songs, and if Andy Summers went out and played right now and he put on a chorus, I'd be like, oh man, there's that sound. So I would like that. But I want something that's a little harder to decide on what it is, and you just accept it rather than going, oh, that's a chorus. Or flanger in this case. This is the kind of flanger I like, though, where it sounds chorusy, where you're not sure.
Yeah, it really does. That's the vibrato, obviously, right?
That's a fake vibrato from a flanger,
right?
But it totally sounded like that.
Because if the actual pitch vibe sounded that good, right? Like I would say 2 out of 3 of the effects on there are extraordinary, and the third one, I wouldn't be seeking that anyway, so it kind of doesn't matter. but then put all that aside because the box itself is a tone sweetener, which there aren't many effects pedals. There's plenty of drive pedals or compressors or a boost or buffers or plenty of things that you can use as kind of tone sweeteners in your signal chain. Generally, you don't think of effects pedals as that thing.
Yeah, modulation is not what you go to
No.
do that. Yeah.
No. And yet here we are.
And
right?
it's not like a saccharin artificial sweetener like some of them are. It's real it's like real sugar.
It is. It is real sugar, and it is it's pure cane sugar, without any kind of processing or whatever. Where it's natural.
In a gold-plated box. I mean, that's cool. I can see myself.
I can tell you right. Well, I could have told you this a while ago, just for the fact that the box itself sounds good, and then the effects also sound really good. It gets the
spring out, Flippy.
Yeah, it gets them both. Another winner, I would say.
Yeah, another official Flippy approved device. It gets the full gear and gigs seal of approval. Mm-hmm. Yeah, highly recommended. They make it's actually not that much more expensive to get the gold one. It's like $20 or $30, honestly, the difference. So the black one obviously would sound the same. It's a special.
Would it though? Would it sound the same?
Well, that's a good point. I'm assuming that it would sound the same.
I mean, it's fair to assume that they would sound the same.
Yeah.
Right. But
the black one takes less fingerprints. This one, you're wiping it all the time. So keep that in mind if you take it anywhere. Right. But yeah, I'm firmly in the yes, I want one camp.
I think you should get one.
This one might be sticking around. We'll see. This seems to have earned its place in our next big chorus shootout, which we'll be having sometime soon. So be on the lookout for that. But I think this has made the first cut. Yeah. Well, thanks everybody. Really appreciate you hanging out with us. Hope you learned something and enjoyed the show. If you have any comments, leave them below. Please subscribe. Please like. That helps us out a lot. And in return, we'll just keep coming back and doing more fun for you guys. In the meantime, I'm going to say goodbye for Reg and myself. I'm not even letting him say it. I'm going to say it for him. Bye, everybody.